One of the most critical aspects of drive retrofitting is to ensure that the new drive will operate very close to the same speed as the existing drive. In some cases, you may be able to retrieve the required driven or fan speed from a data plate or a test and balance label on the unit. If you cannot supply the required driven speed, it can be calculated using the motor nameplate speed and the mechanical ratio between the driver and driven shift. To calculate ratio, we need to know both the motor and fan sheave part numbers. With this information, the Browning catalog can be used to determine belt pitch diameter. Pitch diameter is the area in the sheave groove where the belt cords ride. Understanding pitch diameter is critical when calculating drive speed because the cord line is where the ratio and speed calculations are most accurate. Keep in mind, using the actual sheave part number will be the best way to ensure that driven speed remains the same. Do your best to retrieve both the motor and fan sheave part numbers. If a part number cannot be found, then provide the outside diameter. Along with the outside diameter, we will need the number of grooves, the belt and bore size, whether or not a bushing is required, and finally, whether the sheaves are variable or fixed pitch. If the application utilizes a variable pitch sheave, we will need some additional information. Variable pitch sheaves are designed to adjust belt pitch diameter, allowing for significant changes in driven speed. Typically, variable pitch sheaves are used to make instant changes to airflow. This is valuable to technicians trying to reach optimum airflow or air balance in a facility. In most cases, equipment manufacturers ship units with variable pitch sheaves. This allows the installer to make changes depending on the application requirements. There are two types of variable pitch sheaves. First, standard variable pitch sheaves, or VP sheaves, have one or two grooves and a flange on one or both sides that can be rotated in or out to adjust pitch diameter. The second type of variable pitch sheave is what is known as a multiple variable pitch sheave, or MVP for short. These sheaves are 2 to 5 groove and have one infinitely adjustable hub that when turned, adjusts each groove equally at the same time. MVPs are typically used on higher horsepower applications. For applications utilizing variable pitch sheaves, the current pitch diameter will have to be calculated before the speed can be calculated. To do this, we will need some additional information. For example, let's assume this sheave was just removed from the motor shaft. I loosen the set screw above the keyway and count how many revolutions it takes to close it. 1, 2, 3 and a half. 3.5 turns open. Now I list that information in the application data sheet. Removing the belt and the sheave from the motor shaft simply is not an option. Another method of determining pitch diameter can be used. Simply measure the outside diameter of the sheave. Keep in mind, you may have already provided that information in the application data sheet. Second, we need you to measure the distance the belt's riding down in the groove of the sheave. This can be done with a ruler or a set of calipers. Simply place the ruler or the back side of the calipers down in the groove of the sheave so that they're resting on top of the belt. Now measure the distance to the top of the sheave and list that information in the application data sheet. Variable pitch sheaves are great for making adjustments to drive speed, but some applications are set, meaning they no longer require speed adjustments. In these cases, you can replace the variable pitch with a fixed pitch sheave. This may be an advantage to you as cost, and in some cases drive life can be improved by converting a variable pitch drive to a fixed pitch. Don't forget to note in the application data sheet as to whether or not you would like us to replace your variable pitch sheave with fixed pitch sheaves. And as always, remember to take pictures for future reference.